Hey everyone, today we're gonna learn about rearranging formulas. So, first we need to know some basic knowledge foundation to build on. So there's a few points that I'll go through and show you some examples on what they mean. So when we see letters in an equation, that means there is an unknown number or a missing number. For example, you have 3 plus b equals 5. So the b in this case is it's a missing number. It's an unknown number that we do not know what the value of it is. So instead we put a letter like the letter B in there. So next point is we call letters in an equation variables or variable. So in 3 plus b equals 5, the letter b is called the b variable or variable b. So b is a variable. Any number that's alone is called a constant. So the 3 and the 5 in this case are both constants. Numbers that have variables stuck to them means that the number is multiplied by the variable. For example, when you have 3b, that is just 3 times b. So anytime you see a number and it's stuck to a letter or stuck to a variable, that means they multiplied by each other. Same thing if you see more than one variable stuck together, that means they are multiplied by each other. For example, in this case, we have a and b, so that means a times b. Negative sign always belongs to the number or variable on the right side of it. For example, we have this negative b plus 3 equals 8. This negative belongs to the p only because it's in the p is on the right side of the negative sign. So if there was a number here, the negative will still belong to the, if there was a number before the negative sign will still belong to the p. Because like if we want to turn this 8 into a negative 8, we put the sign before it, okay? So the 3 and the 8 are both positive. Because the 8 doesn't show anything in front of it, it means it's positive. Now, you need to learn that the reverse of multiplying is dividing. So instead of the reverse of timesing by 3 would be to divide by 3. The reverse of division is multiplication. So instead of so the reverse of dividing by 3 is timesing by 3. The reverse of adding is subtracting. So the reverse of plus 3 is negative 3, or the reverse of plus 3 is minus 3. The reverse of subtraction is addition. So that means minus 3, the reverse of minus 3 is plus 3. So you can just learn that multiplication and division are opposite to each other, and then addition and subtraction are opposite to each other. So if we do the other operation, then we reverse. There are two sides to any equation, a left side and a right side. The two sides are separated by the equal sign. So we have an example again with the 3 plus b equals 5. The equal sign is here. That means that this is your left side of the equation. The 3 plus b is your left side, and then the 5 is your right side of the equation. In rearranging equations, we'll try to move a few terms and numbers from one side of the equation to the other side. So why do we need to rearrange formulas or equations? When we need a variable to be by itself on one side of the equation, because that helps us find that missing number. So we need to move the variables to one side by itself, because that helps us to find the missing number that letter represents. For example, so we go back to 3 plus b equals 5. If we able to move the numbers around, we actually can end up with b equals 5 minus 3. Now that's what we're gonna learn. We're gonna learn how to change this 3 plus b to equals 5 to b equals 5 minus 3. And because it's like this, you can easily do 5 minus 3, which is 2. Which that means that b is equal to 2. So b equals 2. So the first key skill that we need to learn in this is reversing addition. So we have w plus 3 equals 7. So we have addition and we need to reverse it. So instead of adding 3, we need to subtract by 3 to reverse, and we do that to both sides of the equation. So we had w plus 3, and then we add a minus 3 to it. And we had a 7, and we add a minus 3 to it. Now what happens, because we did the reverse thing, then they will cancel each other. The plus 3 will cancel the minus 3, and you're left with the w. And then you have 7 minus 3 on the right side of the equation. So 7 minus 3 is 4. So what you end up with is that w equals 4. I recommend you pause the video now and practice these 4. See if you can figure out the values of the 4 variables in here. The next skill is reversing subtraction. So we have a y minus 5 equals 7. So in order to reverse this, we need to do addition. So we add by 5 in both sides of the equation. Now I chose the 5 because that's the number that is closest to the missing number or the variable. And it's not stuck to it. So you choose the number that's closest to the y, but it's not stuck to it. So y minus 5 gets you add to that plus y minus 5, you add a plus 5 to that. So you end up with y minus 5 plus 5. And then you add a 5 to the 7 and it becomes 7 plus 5. Now, because we have a minus 5 and a plus 5, they cancel each other and you're left with the y. And then the other side you're left with 7 plus 5. You do 7 plus 5, you get 12. That means y is equal to 12. So that missing number turned out to be 12. I recommend you pause the video and try these 4. The third skill is reversing multiplication. So with multiplication, again, if you look, you have a 3t equals 15. So you need to understand that 3t means 3 times t. Now, with multiplication, both numbers are involved in the multiplication. So the variable and the term. So this is times 3. So to reverse that, we have to divide by 3. Now, if you remember, I told you to do the number that's closest to the t, but that's not attached to it. If there's nothing other than the number that's attached to it in that side of the equation, then you just work on that. So now we divide by 3 on both sides of the equation. The divided by 3 will cancel the times by 3 and you'll end up with the t by itself. And you have 15 divided by 3. So t equals 15 divided by 3. You work out what's 15 divided by 3, you get 5. Again, pause the video and try these 4. The last of the 4 skills is reversing division. So if we have a m fraction line 2 equals 6, the fraction line is just division. Okay? So it's m divided by 2. Now, the way we reverse division is multiplication. So we have a divided by 2, so then you do times by 2. Both sides of the equation, the right side and the left side. So the times by 2 will cancel the divided by 2, and you're left with the m. And on the right side, you're left with 6 times 2. Work out what 6 times 2, you get 12. So m, that missing value, m, is equal to 12. Practice these ones. See how you go. So this is an example where multiple things has been used to work out the missing letter, or trying to rearrange it so we have the letter that we want as the subject. So in this case, A is wanted as a subject. So A needs to be alone on one side, one of the sides of the equation. In this case, it is on the right side. So we started with this equation, B equals 5A plus 21. We first subtracted the 21 from both sides, and we end up with b minus 21 equals 5a. Then, because we want the a by itself, we need to divide by 5 to lose the 5. We need to do it on both sides. Because we have two numbers here, we have to put the division line and put the number underneath. And the divide by 5 cancels the 5 next to the a, and you're left with b minus 21 over 5 equals a. This is another example. Can you practice these and see how you go? Thank you.